What's up? Doug Cunnington here. We're going to talk about location independent, like lifestyle ideas. We're going to talk about some productivity stuff too. One of my favorite topics. We're also going to talk about like digital nomad stuff, and of course, just straight up Q&A. So we are going to get rolling in a second. I'm going to close the door just for a cleaner background here. So I'll be right back, and we can see how far you can hear me from here. So it's snowing here today, like crazy. So I went to the coffee shop. I had to change locations. I had like a meeting set up with a podcaster that I met at the Million Cups meeting earlier this week, and I was going to go downtown, but I have a 2-wheel drive truck. Doesn't do so well in the snowy weather, especially like there's like half an inch of ice or so, and then it gets really slick. And yeah, it's just not great for me to get my truck out unless, it's plowed or it's like packed snow and I have sandbags in the back. It's a little dicey. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, but being up here in Montana for a couple of years, like I figured out how to drive. Anyway, I had to change the venue to a place that I could walk to. So I was like, hey, sorry to switch it up. So Jen met me at this coffee shop here, and I actually fell down like on the way, like walking home. I just slipped on ice. It was a very slow fall, but I took a picture. It'll be hard to see, but you can. And by the way, this will be Q&A, so you can get the questions rolling in here. We have Paul on, Lorraine, Leo, what's up, and Adrian also. And I took a picture of just like the snow angel of me falling. Because, just to make fun of myself and then show other people that I fell down. Because no one saw, of course, like I fall down and I like look around to see if anybody saw me, and then I'm taking a picture of it to show you. I'm not sure if it'll show up like super great, but yeah, you can sort of see like, so that's like sorry, the reflection. There we go. Now you could really see. So this portion here is where I landed. That's asphalt right there. And it's like half an inch of snow and then like half an inch of ice on top, or maybe an inch of snow. Anyway, I'm okay. I made it out all right. And cool. Yeah. Keep the questions rolling. I'm going to let some go, I guess, populate here. And I'm going to tell you about some productivity books. And I put like that I'm reading right now, but some of them I've read almost all of these. But I'm just going to show you some of them, given the topic of productivity is going to be more important coming up here. Here's one that I just got. I am reading it right now. Productivity Project, The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey. I've heard of it for a couple of years, and I wasn't like drawn to it or anything initially. Like the story is this guy like graduated from college, and then he decided he didn't want to take the 2 job offers that he had. So he was just going to work on productivity. It initially put me off because I was like, hey, wouldn't it be good to get like some more life experience before you like didn't work and like did a productivity? But he actually has like legit credentials and like knows what he's talking about. It's an international bestseller, as it's stated here. And a lot of the people that are on the back here, like Seth Godin, Marshall Goldsmith, and David Allen, like obviously highly respected folks. So I was like, I'll give this book a shot. I got to give a shout out to JP. He hooked me up with a, an Amazon gift card just to say, thanks for doing live streams and stuff. So I bought that book, and I bought Mastery as well, which that was on the top of my mind because Leo mentioned it to me the other day, and I was like, it's been on my list for a while. So I haven't read it, but I've heard Robert Greene give a couple talks on the topic. So I'm excited to dig into this one here soon. It's not really productivity. It's more around the, mastery versus anything else. By the way, if people are just joining in, give me a shout. Just let me know or where you're from. If it's your first time on, super interested to hear about that too. Polina is on. Pratyush is on also. And quick note, I did post a couple links below, a couple of my friends. So Zoey, Arielle, She just published something on productivity today. You should give that a look. I actually interviewed Zoey um, a little while back. I haven't published the interview yet, but it's all queued up, ready to go. So we'll be hearing more from Zoey soon. She's awesome. She has a really like great YouTube channel, so check that out. And then Mackenzie on becoming a digital nomad, also just cool channel. I haven't interviewed Mackenzie yet, but it's like on the we're in talks right now, so hopefully we'll hear some more from Mackenzie too. But check out those links below if you get a chance. Give them a shout, would appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna hit a couple of the other productivity books. These are a couple of my favorites here. So Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg, and I referenced his other book, Smarter, Faster, Better, the other day. And all these books are just like piled up. I'm going to knock everything off my desk here in a second. But so these two books are great. They don't they're not connected in any way. This is about like habits and forming habits, really cool. And then this is and breaking habits as well. And then this is like around productivity, just more straight up productivity, both for the individual and for like corporate group settings, teams, and stuff like that. And Deep Work here is one that I read more recently by Cal Newport. Really good around just like focusing and getting work done. And I think we could all probably look at, times when we feel like we're scattered, we're so busy. And then when we look back at our day, like we didn't really get that much done, which feels bad because like you worked really hard. Maybe it was stressful in some way or another. And then at the end of the day, it's like you didn't have anything like tangible. And that happens a lot, like working on multiple projects at the same time. You make like, 1 inch of progress in like 100 directions instead of going like, 100 inches on one project, which brings me to essentialism, which is a lot around, just figuring out what is actually essential. And there's a nice picture in here. Lance is on. What's up? There's a nice picture in here that illustrates exactly what I was talking about, where you could put your energy in many different directions and not get very far. Or you could put a lot of effort into one area and like make some good progress. And a lot of these books they talk about a lot of the same ideas, but like there's a different narrative around them. So Deep Work's a little different than essentialism, and it's a little different than the one thing. They reference a lot of the same ideas, but they really, when it comes down to it, it's about focus in a lot of ways. Focusing on the things that like you could really, get leverage from versus, if we're going to talk about like link building or something like SEO related, you may be able to get a little traction if you do like some social sharing or something like that. But unless you put all your time into it, you're probably better off just focusing on, say, like getting guest posts and just doing that, getting better and better at that versus like doing like 8 different tiny little social media type things that are not really going to help you. So, by the way, this is a Q&A. I'm just going through like the high points of some of these books and going back and forth. I'll mention when I talked to Zoey, it was an interview. I interviewed her. She mentioned like the 4-hour work week being like super influential for her. And me personally, I actually didn't read the 4-hour work week until like maybe like the end of 2014. So I like heard people talk about it for years before I even like opened it up and looked at it. The funny thing is, and I'm tying in the location independence and the digital nomad aspect. Like I accidentally like did what Tim Ferriss was talking about. I was working remotely. The culture in the company, or at least the client that I was in, was, work remotely, 1 day a week. And then it slowly grew over time. Like office space was shrinking, and it went from like 1 day per week to like, 2 days a week, 3 days every other week. And then like when you would go to the office for a meeting, other people wouldn't be there. So like there was no point to even go in. Or here's something that would happen. people would be on 2 meetings, on 2 phones, and you could imagine how much work didn't get done. But there's like a bunch of people on different calls. So even if you were in the same location, my friend and I maybe, or my coworker, or if I'm lucky, it was my friend, could be sitting a couple cubes over. I could hear his phone on the same call that I'm on, and then we wouldn't even sit in the same room because we were like, you know, multitasking and working on other stuff at the same time. So Jason's on. What's up? Lorraine got a couple questions. Let's see. And then KVT. Okay, I'm going to start getting to the questions here. Oh, and one more sort of productivity type book, The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawand. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Good book. This guy's a surgeon, and you know, I do less with checklists than people think, but great tool, especially when you're working with like multiple different people on a team and stuff. All right. So I'm going to get to the questions, keep them rolling in. And Jason, welcome. Good to have you on. Let me know if you have any questions as well. All right. First question. What would you suggest doing against perfectionism in writing? And do small grammar mistakes affect your site success? So as far as perfectionism in writing, you just have to, you know, accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes in there unless you do multiple rounds of edits. And the best way to, you know, deal with it is to just, you know, publish it. Like do an edit sort of like, I'm not sure if you're doing it yourself, but just from a time perspective, just block out a specific set of time. And then you can, you know, just force yourself to finish it in that amount of time. The quality usually is dependent on like how much time you could spend on it. So if you time block it, then you can sort of move past it. For me, I just, you know, deal with it and accept it. So almost 100% of the time you're better off if you just get something out the door and then adjust it later than if you just wait. Not always, but most of the time. As far as grammar mistakes affecting your site success, I think, you know, you specifically said small grammar mistakes. I don't think it will greatly impact your site success. I have a feeling, I'm not a strong writer. I reference that a lot. I've gotten better and better, you know, hopefully telling the story through a post or even tying posts together. In the, you know, in the written form. And I hope I'm improving, and I've tried to improve, and just, you know, writing more and more and like trying to critically review your work, take feedback from others is going to help. But the fact is, even going through that, like I'm sure there's still grammar mistakes, right? Even if I'm trying to like commas and just like other punctuation and sentence formats, like that sort of grammar mistake, or having like the wrong tense is probably not the worst thing in the world as long as people can understand it. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Polina says, I wanted to know how I can increase my PA score on Moz. So just, you need to get more backlinks from higher, like higher authority domains and higher authority pages. You could actually boost your PA and DA with no follow links. So if you do a just a blog commenting campaign, your DA and PA is going to go up. Now the thing is, the PA is, it's page dependent, right? It's page authority. So you will, like whatever page you are trying to improve, then you need to get the links to that page. Now the real thing, like the real point though, is like, do you really want to increase the metric or do you want to improve the rankings? Probably the rankings and probably the traffic. So you should focus on stuff where you are getting traffic and you're improving rankings. It doesn't really matter what your PA or DA is. Those are just an estimation from like a company called Moz, right? It's just a company. All right. Next question. Lorraine says, when am I going to release the interview with Income School? Um, do I plan on doing the same with Dom from Human Proof? You know what? I need to get in touch with Dom so we could set something up. Um, I I have it on my list to figure out my schedule for publishing over the next couple weeks. And Income School, I may put it out next week. Had a great talk with those guys, and yeah, we have a lot of stuff in common, but we differ in other areas. So I'll publish that soon. It will be within the next 2 weeks, maybe as soon as next week. I'll probably send an email out on that one too, because I want to get people to watch that one. Let's see. KVT says, when commenting on blogs, should the topic be related? Yeah, if possible, but just if you could think about it from the audience perspective, like if the audience is the same type of person that would read your content, that's probably a good fit. So it doesn't have to be the exact same topic. That's hard to do sometimes. But if it was someone who was interested in, veganism, for example, if you are like commenting on sites that talk about vegetarian options also, or like vegetarian restaurants, good match, right? Same audience. So do that. Let's see. Leo says, am I in a place to give us my 2018 plan for the new productivity business? What led me to the topic? Will there be a standalone, or is this a feeder to? Okay, good question. And so it may be slightly premature, but there's not, this is the right people to tell about, right? So I am launching a new course, a pilot course. It's going to be very limited. You'll be able to get into it within like the next month or so. So I've had this content for quite a while. I have an interest in, productivity and, systems, and being able to, set yourself up for success, even when, like, for example, most days I get up and like I kind of have a routine, and it's kind of a bad one, right? Pop open my email on my phone. I'm checking like Instagram feed. If I'm really and if I'm really bad, I'll look at Facebook for a second, all in the first 15 minutes. That is not what you're supposed to do. I'll drink a bunch of coffee, try and self-medicate myself with caffeine to just like wake the F up a little bit. So, and I'm fairly productive, right? If you look at the stuff that I've been able to do in the last year, like it's pretty good. I'm kind of productive, but also I just kind of melt down at times too. So I want to share, like, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to do a few things right more often than you don't. So it's like sort of like a real world productivity thing. Cause I'm doing a lot of research, right? It's super hard to implement like some of the programs where people are like, yeah, just manage your calendar in 15-minute increments. Just do that and it's super easy. Well, it's kind of hard to do that, and just to go through the exercise is like even harder to do. So I have an interest in productivity, and not many people know last year I got sort of like seduced by the idea of trying to quickly publish and push out a product on Black Friday. I think Brian Harris of Video Fruit, great guy, really great content. A lot of respect for him. He like did a small case study for pushing out a product quickly on a Black Friday, and he was like, give it a shot, try it out. Here's how you could do it. I tried it. I actually sold a few of like this productivity product, but number one, it took me off like my main task for about a week. It was cool. I launched a product in 1 week, like created the whole thing, launched it in 1 week and sold it. But obviously if I did it in 1 week and then didn't do anything else with it after that, like it just sat. So I tabled it, and I know that there's definitely interest in that topic. People are just interested in it anyway. Everyone wants to produce like more, and they want to be more effective with their time and all that. Um, so I know it's a good topic. I sold a few copies, but eventually, like I tabled it. I refunded the people that enrolled and told them they could meet with me and I'll coach them for a couple hours if they want, just for having the faith in me and the course and all that. Anyway, so I'm pulling it off the shelf and I kind of want to push myself. Like this is like ground zero again. So I've been working on five figure niche site for years, right? I'm very confident in the content. People are getting results, not just me. A lot of students are getting results. And this is a fresh course. It's going to be hard again. I'm going to have to, you know, fix the areas that are not quite right. I'm going to have to improve it. So I'm looking forward to like challenging myself again by launching a brand new course where I'm going to have to work hard on it again. I don't want to be complacent. So it is 100% standalone and it is going to be like a lower price point. So for the pilot version, by the way, I'm not 100% sure on the price, but it will be um, you know, under $100. It's going to be limited, so I'm going to, it's probably going to sell out and I'll cut it off. There'll be a lot of interaction with me. I'm not going to sell it here or anything like that, but so I'll shut up about it, but it'll be small groups. You'll work with me like very closely. And, the idea will be to go through the material and refine it. So once it's refined, the people in the pilot course will get the end version when it is, improved over time. And like five figure niche site, I keep improving it and adding to it. This productivity course will be the same way. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at there. And as far as like the 2018 plan, I'm not 100% sure like any scheduling or anything like that. But the pilot, basically, I was like, hey, I could wait until the new year to launch it. But the people that are really productive, they're going to get a head start like me. Like I don't set New Year's resolutions. I just do whatever, like when it happens. So like I usually start on New Year's, like around right now. So if you're starting on New Year's and resolutions in January, you're behind by like a couple months. So anyway, good question, Leah. Thank you for asking about that and giving me a chance to talk about myself a little bit more. One of my favorite topics. All right. Yeah, and keep the questions coming. If you have questions on location independence and stuff like that, and I'll talk a little bit about the location independence a little bit more in a moment. Lauren says, if a main keyword, a keyword golden ratio, is not ranking well after a few months and some blog commenting, is it a good idea to change it? If so, do I create a new post or do a 301 redirect? So you have a couple options. There's no right answer. So if it's not ranking, you can maybe tweak it, right? Tweak the title, maybe tweak the article content to target a similar keyword golden ratio term where, you can edit the content up to 50% of it or something, and then just see what happens. And then as far as like changing it, you can create a new post and 301 redirect it if you want. But I would just, maybe I don't pay too much attention to the ones that aren't ranking. I'll usually do a block of them, say like 20, and usually, you know, more than half of them will get traction, they'll rank, and then from there I can improve the ones that are doing well. I really don't mess with things that aren't doing well. I just kind of ignore them. So it's usually better to focus on your strengths and like amplify them versus trying to like catch up from like not ranking just to get it to like number 10, which is basically not worthwhile. So hopefully that helps you out in your situation there. Polina says, can I recommend some good companies for content writing? Yeah, I'll mention a couple. I hire from Upwork and just do the management myself. And that's what I would recommend generally. If you want to buy like done for you content, there's two places I recommend. One's Content Refined. I'm an affiliate for Content Refined, by the way. So if you go to my site, Niche Site Project, and look up Content Refined, you can follow a link there, or you can just go to it. Totally up to you. But if you use my affiliate link, I get a commission. And then we have Human Proof Designs offers many services. That is Dom's, site and his services. Highly recommend those too. Again, I'm an affiliate. You can go directly to it or use my affiliate link, whatever. I won't put a link here, but if you go find it, you could do that. So those are two services that will write content for you. They're usually pretty savvy about the keyword angle. I'm not 100% sure of the levels of quality or the packages. I've tested them out just in one gig, and then I've heard feedback from other people, and most people seem very happy with the content they get. I'm a control freak, and I hire people like individually from Upwork. I'm good at hiring people, so that's what I do. All right, Lance says, do we want keyword golden ratio terms to have buyers' keywords in them or not? Lance, you're a student, so you will want to have some content, right? In your initial content, you want to have some of that is buyers' keywords and some of it is not, 50-50, right? So divide it up that way. As you're looking through like this, unit 1 and unit 2 stuff, like you may want to favor the buyer's keywords, even though you're only going to publish like 5 and 5. Buyer's keywords will be great to have as you're choosing the niche. Thing is, with the informational content, it's usually like pretty easy to find keyword golden ratio terms, because those are like how to, people aren't targeting them as much, so it's usually pretty easy to find non-buyers KGR terms. So hopefully that answers your question. You could always shoot me an email to the support address for more follow-up. Good question, Lance. And then Adrian says, can I use some articles that I'm having on a website that I do not want to keep working on? Let's see. Can I use some articles that I'm having on a website that I do not want to keep working on? Can I delete the pages and use them on a new website that you're working on through 5-figure niche site? Yeah, basically you can. You will want to either delete them or like place a redirect or some sort of canonical. But yeah, in general, if you just delete it and then publish it somewhere else, it should be fine. You shouldn't have to worry about it. If it's duplicate, that can be a little bit of an issue if there are a lot of articles. If it's just a one-off and you like link to the original, or from the original you link to the new one, that can be okay because it's kind of like a syndication thing. But yeah, you would be all right if you delete it and then move it over. Jason says, you find it hard to stay motivated on the guest posting campaign when you're getting good traction with keyword golden ratio content. Okay. If you're ranking top 3, is guest posting worth the effort, or should you create more content? It does depend on like it depends on like the amount of content that you already have and the number of keyword golden ratio terms that you have. Here's the thing. Like if you really want to make a lot of money, you will definitely have to like get some links. The guest posting campaigns are boring, right? Actually, any one of the components of work that you can do for niche side or basically anything, like after you do it for a while, it's boring and it's work, right? Like that's what it is. So the thing is, the hard part is, even if you get some guest posts, it may be a few weeks or a couple months before they kick in. So like you have to do a bunch of work and then you don't get any feedback on it for a while. So it's really hard to stay motivated on that. But if you trusted me for the keyword golden ratio concept, you should also trust me that you need to get backlinks. So if you can stick with it, and here's a way to test it. Like make a commitment for 30 days. You're going to work hard on the guest posting campaign. Get some guest posts out of that. Hopefully you'll get 5 or 6. You will have to wait like 4, 6, 8 weeks to see some impact. But trust me, you can do that 30-week period, go back, publish more content, and then you'll see that the places that you got links are going to move up in the rankings, and probably you're going to make more money. So if you just stick with it for long enough to see the results, you'll see that you do need them. Can you make good money on like a site with no links? Yeah, you could probably make like a few $100, maybe even a couple thousand a month with like no backlinks. But when you start getting backlinks, that's when you start getting into like, 5 figures a month and like full-time income range. All right. Furman says, does the post URL have to be the keyword phrase, or will the page title suffice? Usually the page title will suffice. It's good to have like, keyword rich URL, but sometimes you cut some words out just to make it a shorter URL. Sometimes, I have a long phrase in there. But in either case, it's like keyword rich. All right. And keep the questions coming along here. Brandon from China, what's up? All right. Question is, what are my thoughts on homepage length? I've been reading a lot of conflicting reports. Also, what are the thoughts on the content layout? So it's probably good to have at least like a couple hundred words on the homepage, but you know what? It probably doesn't matter. It depends on your site. Like if a lot of people are landing on the homepage, or you intend for them to land on the homepage for some reason, then maybe you have a little more content there. But as far as the length, like I said, at least have a couple hundred words, like what your site's about, and maybe a link to like one of your big guides, one of the long posts, the important posts. Maybe you have like 2 or 3 of those, and then maybe like 2 or 4 recent blog posts, like the blog recent post section, right? I kind of like that. It's fairly simple. There's not too much stuff on there, and keep it simple, like most of the stuff that I talk about. And then as far as like conflicting reports, I think people can probably go out and find examples on all the millions of websites in the world that are getting lots of traffic. They could probably find examples to prove or disprove whatever point that they want. So like the point is, it probably doesn't matter. And, if someone is doing a, case study or a test or something like that, you have to look at the data that they're using. So as far as the conflicting reports, I'm sure it's like someone's trying to like make a point in one direction or the other, and they're selectively picking the data. So I'm sure you could look at sites that have like tons of information, tons of links all over the site, or you could look at one where it's like you can opt in or read the blog. Like I'm sure there's plenty of examples of both. For my sites, most of the traffic hits a specific page via SEO or some kind of social sharing or something like that. And not that many people go to the homepage. A few people do, but not many. All right. Matthew says the keyword golden ratio is great. The keyword golden ratio is great. I think about 70% of the new articles on a relatively new site rank within a day or two on the first page of Google. Awesome, Matthew. Did you already send me an email of like rankings and screenshots of like your traffic and stuff? Would really love to have that for like an example. So shoot me an email, doug@nichesiteproject.com. Lorraine says, I'm not sure if it's okay to use affiliate links on info posts. Can I clarify? Yeah, it's okay. You put affiliate links wherever you want. Okay. Manu Kwa says, should I feel guilty if you write a product review and didn't have the product in your hand? No. Oh, but you write it in such a way that you have tested it. Oh, you shouldn't do that because that's like unethical and it's lies. So you shouldn't act like you're actually reviewing it. You can, critically talk about a product. Like a lot of people were writing about like the new iPhone, or like they'll write about the new iPhone before it even comes out. They're just talking about features and stuff, right? So, which I think like was it today or yesterday like the new iPhone came out. So like people talked about it for months like before anyone had their hands on it other than like people with prototypes that are like in Apple or something. So, you shouldn't write it such that it's like untrue and you're saying like, yeah, when I held the blah 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 in my hand, it was like this. Don't do that. You should feel guilty if you do that. But if you don't have the product, then just be sure that you're writing it where you're just talking about the features and benefits and stuff like that. Let's see. Next, is it safe to click on your own affiliate links to make sure they direct you in the right place? Yeah, that's fine. Testing links is fine. It's just like when you try and buy through your own affiliate link, not good. The question is, are Web 2.0 like blog backlinks safe in 2017? You want to build a small Web 2.0 chain of blogs just to boost your new domain and website. Um, Generally, that is a gray hat thing. Is it safe? If you're just, building like a little network like that and you don't do anything else, it's probably not going to get you penalized, right? If you are like building reasonable links, is probably going to be okay. I think your assumption that it's going to boost your domain and website in any way is wrong. So I don't think it'll harm you, but I also don't think it's going to help you. So you should probably not do it and spend your time elsewhere. If you want to do gray hat activities, I would probably recommend that you just hire a service to do it because they'll probably do a better job and it will probably be cheaper than you actually doing it yourself. Like if you actually tried to implement what the Hoth does, it would probably cost you more than just paying the Hoth. So, all right. Adrian says, when we write informational content, do we want to write about the products that we advertise or can it be about anything related to our niche? Well, it could be either one of those, but it'll probably be, the latter. It will probably be around stuff related to your niche. If you're writing about the products, it's harder to make it like informational. So I would recommend just related to the topic. Nick, what's up? Good to have you on. Should I add content or build links to improve your rankings? You should probably build links. And we talked yesterday, Nick, so I have an idea. But yeah, probably build some links. But it's one of those two things, right? Just pick one. All right. And then we have another question. Which forum is best for electronic products? I have no idea. You've collected some forums, but not getting traffic. What should you do? You should probably, going back to Nick's question, you probably need to like add more content, keyword golden ratio content, or get links. You should probably get links. I don't know exactly what you mean about like collecting forums, but either do more of that. If you think that that's a thing that'll work, do more of that and maybe adjust a little bit. Or you can just try like blog commenting and guest posting. All right. Ellen says, I have 2 authority sites in different niches, but you're wondering if you can link from one to the other as long as the topic is relevant. They're on the same hosting account. Sure, you can. You're probably you probably only want to do that in one post, right? like you don't want to overdo it and like link everything over or do like a site-wide link or anything crazy like that. Probably just one like link is probably fine. Since they're on the same hosting account, like I mean, I don't think Google is going to like discount that link specifically, but if you have a lot of those links, it's probably not great. But one link is probably fine. Monaqua says, how should you organize your content within a category? Should you organize it chronologically or by importance? How do you help the visitor find what he needs? You know what? I've never even thought about it. I don't think it matters. Never even considered it. Most of the time, people are landing on a specific page from Google. So they're landing on the page that's most relevant for them. If you wanted to organize stuff in a category page, then I would probably, put yourself in the shoes of the user and try to imagine what they would want to have on that page and then do that. But I don't think it actually matters. Lorraine says, am I planning on digging into ClickBank in the future? No, not at all. The ClickBank can be great. Some of the payouts can be great, like percentage wise, the commissions are awesome. The interesting thing with ClickBank products, over time, like a product will be hot and then it slowly dies down. Sometimes even the creators of the product, they stop updating it and they stop like doing anything with it. So the result can be, right? Not always, but it can be that you rank number one and you put all this time into a specific product offering and then the product goes away. That's not cool. Now, again, it doesn't always happen, but it's totally possible. There's definitely been a couple products that I've seen where they're very like time sensitive, and then at some point they're not relevant anymore. So just for me, it's less interesting, and I'm tending to just continue to stay in the Amazon like ecosystem here. Okay, cool. And Ella says just planning on like doing the link one time, which is cool. And we have a Douglas Cunnington on here too, which is cool. Just like me. All right. Brian Tan. What's up, Brian? Good to have you on. It's late where you're at. And is which Douglas Cunnington is this? Is my dad or another Douglas Cunnington out there in the world? All right. Any other questions? All right. So Brandon asks, traffic and revenue. So could you give me an idea of what you would consider the traffic needed to get to $1,000 per month? Let's see. So that's always a hard one to answer. You probably need, let me think for a second. Just ballpark, right? So there's so many factors involved, but probably maybe like 300-ish, maybe like 200 to 400 visitors per day, unique visitors per day. All right. Okay, it's my dad on here. He must have found me on Facebook. That's cool. Hey, Dad, do you want to come on live? Here, I can send you actually, that sounds like a technical nightmare. Never mind. But I'm going back to visit Atlanta here soon. We're going on a little sort of camping trip, although I wussed out and I was like, you know what? I don't sleep well in a tent. Why don't we just hike up to a place and then we'll stay in this little like hotel. There's a spot where you hike in 5 miles. It's right off the AT, the Appalachian Trail. You could hike up and they have like food for you. There's some bathrooms and there's like small rooms with bunk beds. So it's really like pretty like minimal. There's no like electricity in like your rooms or anything. there's no Wi-Fi anywhere around or anything like that. Or cell phones won't work, I don't think. But anyway, I'll be able to sleep a little bit better there versus the other place. So okay. Lorraine says, you hope it's okay to ask, what do you think about the whole Bitcoin bonanza? You know what? I'm ignoring it completely. There's only so many things that could fit in my head, and I'm totally ignoring it. So whenever I see some sort of a headline or anything in Facebook, then I like click the little thing that says I'm not interested. I don't want to see any more of that because I don't want to hear it. Really. So the next question is, do I know about web development? Yes, sort of, but not like you think. So I have low interest in web development and time. I have less time. I have more interest in less time. Brandon says currently you're getting about 1,300 visitors per month and making less than $50. Okay, and that sounds about right. I usually actually that is right in line with what I usually see. So oftentimes I'll see about 100 visitors a day, like plus or minus 25, and then from there, oftentimes that's about $100 a month. So if you extrapolate what you just said, 1,350 should be, you double that, should be about $100, and you'll get more traction at that point. So it tends to grow faster. Matthew says, how many do follow backlinks should I aim for? Basically as many as you can get, but if you're looking for something more manageable, I would say like 10 guest posts or something like that, 10 to 15, and then sort of move on to your next sprint of work. And then further you say, or does it depend on the PA and DA of the site? Yeah, sort of. You got a few links from a relevant page for DAs of 40 or 60. Does it matter? Yeah, I mean, if you can get really good links from really high authority sites, that actually matters a little bit more than just getting a bunch of links from not good sites. But relevancy is super important. So if you can get relevant links, you should, even if they're lower authority. And basically, you should try and get as many links as you can get. So, all right, we have quite a crowd on today. Quick note, I did put a couple links for some friends of mine that you should check out on the productivity and digital nomad topics. They are Zoey and Mackenzie. So check those out. Leave them a comment or something like that. That would be nice. Should be like, publishing Zoe's in the next couple weeks. Like I said, I'm looking at my schedule for like the topics in which I'm publishing. Hopefully I'll be interviewing Mackenzie soon. I haven't yet, but yeah, put links in the description. So if you're watching now live or you're watching like a replay later, check out their stuff there. Any other questions out there? I see Al is on. I'm doing well today. Thanks for hopping on. And let's see. Any other questions out there? Yeah, and funny thing, like I'm supposed to meet someone for lunch, but I'm gonna have to either cancel or have him like come to a place that I could walk to. I don't mind walking at all. They have these things called yak tracks. It's like chains for your boots. So like I can I just wasn't wearing them this morning, so that's why I slipped and fell. And let's see. Kent is on too. What's up? All right. Monoqua says, should you pay for links? Generally, no, you shouldn't do that. So I usually do like the white hat approach, which is like following Google's guidelines and stuff like that. And other people do gray hat, which doesn't follow the guidelines. So when you pay for links, you're not following the guidelines. The caveat is you can sponsor people's sites, but that usually requires, right, per the Google guidelines, that they make those links no follow. Are no follow links valuable? Yeah, they can be, especially if it pushes traffic. If you can get a do follow link, is definitely better. But if if you sponsor someone's site and it's a site that actually gets good traffic, they actually, if they refer their visitors to your site and people follow it, that's good. So, um, and is my dad still on there, by the way? Other Doug, just say, you can say yeah in the chat. I'm still here. All right. Brandon says, how long would I spend to do one article myself? The keyword golden ratio content, write it, post it with links, videos, images. Probably we're talking like 1,000 words. It would probably take me like 4 hours, something like that, start to finish, taking a little break. Oh yeah. So dad, it's like snowing a bunch here. And I slipped and I showed the picture earlier, but since you made the time to show up, like I slipped and fell like behind the Sportsman's Warehouse. I just slipped on like there's about a half inch, quarter inch of ice, and then a couple inches of snow. And I just slipped and fell right down there. So it was a really slow fall. and then and then I just got up and looked around to see if anybody saw me, but nobody did. Nobody noticed at all. So I took a picture just so I could, have that. But I'll wear the yak tracks and it'll be much warmer back in Georgia here or there. It'll be warmer there. So yeah, it's supposed to, I think like from like this morning for the next 36 hours, well, we may get up to like 10 or 12 inches or so. So that's fun. All right. Any other questions out there? Any other questions? And Dad, thanks for sending the information on the reservations and stuff like that. That was helpful. Yeah, and my dad says it's 70 degrees back in Atlanta. Sounds nice. I can even see the mountains. There's so much snow coming down. Ed says, what's the best way to present content? By the way, yeah, keep questions coming or I'm going to have to jet. And I should actually text the guy that I'm going to cancel lunch with here in a second. So Ed says, what's the best way to present content? Well, there are so many, it's a wide range, but if you're forcing me to answer, long articles. Long articles are better from 2,000 words plus, right? There's almost nothing, there's almost no length that's too long. I have some stuff that's like 12, 14,000 words. You get a lot of long tails. And I know the argument is people don't read that much, except for the people that do read that much. So, all right, Leo, thanks for joining up. Looking forward to speaking with you coming up soon. Thanks for hopping on. You have a good weekend too. All right. KBT says, can you make $100 a month without guest posting? Yeah, for sure. Vibhor says you have a badminton related website hosted at blah, blah, blah since the last 4 months. You're able to get around 6,000 people to your website a month, but not much revenue. Okay. Well, you're saying that most people are looking for badminton courts and you have the conversion rate. So I'm assuming that they were looking for like local courts. So my advice to you, right? Either you have two main options. You have three. You can quit working on that site. There's always an option for basically anything that you're working on. I don't recommend that one. The second option would be you can create directories for local areas where badminton is hot, right? Where people are searching. You should be able to check your analytics, see where those people are at. Then you contact the places where there are courts, right? Call them up on the phone, see if they're interested in sponsoring you because you get X amount of traffic and you could push people to their site. I would recommend going to Yelp, go to social media, see who knows what's going on, right? If you have to educate them on why they want to work with you, then you don't want to work with them. You need to find people that are already investing in advertisement online, or they have a Yelp presence. Then you can see if they would pay you for ads, right? Basically ad space. Or the last one here is you can publish content that is actually targeted for Amazon sales, right? So right now you're getting the wrong kind of visitor, but if you have the right kind of visitor who actually wants to buy something, problem solved. You got the right person there. You don't even have to convince them. You could put like 1 or 2 affiliate links and they go to it. No problem. All right. Hopefully that helps you. Lorraine says, if I write a review comparing 4 products in the first page for the keyword shows reviews for 5 to 10 products, should I adjust? Yeah, probably. Okay, Matthew says, there was a woman you heard about on a podcast who targets low comp keywords. Her name's Claire. It was on the Niche Pursuits podcast a few years ago. I think she's out of the game right now, if I heard correctly. She never does backlinks, apparently. That's true. I think she just published a ton of content. But yeah, I think, and you said it, you think she has 40 plus sites and she makes a lot. Yeah, I think she was doing like 5 figures a month. But yeah, unsure what she's up to now. Vibhor says most people coming are looking for badminton courts. Okay. Okay. And then Adrian says, when I choose a domain, should I try and pick a .com? Yeah, you should probably pick a .com. Or actually, it depends on the site or the country that you're targeting. It should probably be, Adrian is a student. You should probably target the US. You should probably get a .com. It's in unit 3, by the way. And Vibhor says, you already thought of it. Okay, cool. Well, good confirmation then. So do it and then tell me what happens. Next, Brandon. Oh yeah, Brandon. Yeah, get some sleep. See you around. All right, any other questions out there? And I'm just going to pause just for 1 second. Sorry, got to cancel lunch with my guy here because I can't drive anywhere. So we'll see. All right. Yeah, I'm waiting for any other questions to come in here. All right. I know this is super boring, just watching me text. What's your best SEO advice? It's funny, I interviewed Matt Diggity, my buddy Matt Diggity, and my new friend Brendan Tully the other day. And it was funny. I asked him sort of a question like this. Basically, just get more backlinks. So I don't remember what their answer was specifically, but we went a little deep. We were really talking about location independence and stuff like that. And basically, like, we got into a couple geeky topics because they're so smart with SEO. It'd be silly if I didn't ask them anything about that. But yeah, Lorraine, just get more backlinks, add more content. Adrian, good to have you on. We'll see you around. Okay, it looks like it's tapering down here, so we'll just end it up. Again, actually, if you are watching later, can you let me know if you're interested in the productivity stuff? Like, let me know what productivity questions you have. Really interested in hearing that. I mean, part of it is like motivation. Like, there's a base level of like just doing stuff, and then after that, there's like all these strategies and ideas to help you actually be productive. So, okay, Brian. A couple more questions here. Vibhor says, do backlinks on social networks count? Yeah, they do count, But do they help your rankings? Well, the jury's out on that. If you actually get traffic through it, I think it helps your rankings, right? So if you have like, I had like a Pinterest thing go viral, got like 20,000 plus shares and stuff. Pretty sure that helped the rankings because there was traffic like coming through it. I think traffic coming through a link is sort of like the difference, right? That is the leverage point. So if you get a no follow link from Pinterest and no one follows it, who cares? But if you get a link and 20,000 people are pinning it and you get traffic through it, probably helps. So social, maybe, maybe not. Depends. Brian says, do I buy stock photos? Not much. I usually find something for free, but I have probably bought, 30 photos over the past few years. Yeah. Lorraine says, that is AMP, and that is accelerated mobile page something. I'm not sure exactly, but accelerated mobile, should it be a concern since mobile first is rolling out? You know what? I'm not making it a priority right now. It probably will be soon, kind of like secure sites, the SSL stuff. So like, you should probably think about it. Your page should look fine on mobile. You should do that. But yeah, as far as AMP, I'm not 100% sure. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to end it here before it all falls apart and too many people drop off. But yeah, let me know about the productivity stuff. What are you struggling with? If you want me to hit a specific topic or talk about a specific book, let me know. I read all the ones that I mentioned before, and I'll probably finish the Productivity Project book by Chris Bailey in the next few days. I'm probably going to blow through it here pretty quickly. So, all right, cool. Thanks everyone for showing up. Thank my dad for showing up too, a guest here. Maybe we can, when I'm in town, maybe we will do like a live stream with my parents, and then that'll be interesting. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone. Have a good weekend. Drive safe if it's snowy where you're at too.